Now at 5:30, guests at a Lexington hotel had to leave after an overnight fire. What we know just ahead.
We'll have a live report from there. Also on WKYT, crews are left with quite a cleanup after a train derailment in Pendleton County. More on the trouble it caused for the city of Falmouth and how long it's going to take to get things back to normal coming up.
An eventful first day of school for some kids whose school bus crashed into a car. We'll have more on the arrest that followed ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Kentucky mornings start right here on WKYT. We're glad you're with us. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. A lot of the kids and their parents and teachers all trying to get back into the swing of things for a new school year.
It's an emotional time, you know, for many, but probably some exciting stories when the kids got to come home yesterday and talk about their first day of classes. Some of our other schools, Micah, are starting right now or in the days ahead.
That's exactly right. Yeah, today is another first day of school. Next week for some is the first day of school. I got to see, we have a lot of kids that live around my house, and I got to see all of them coming home, the parents walking home with them and bringing them home, and it was just pretty cool. They all enjoyed the first day, and I hope your kiddos did as well. 77 degrees here in Frankfort. Lexington not looking all that bad, but not feeling great. We drive toward the afternoon. It's mainly dry during the morning hours again, and then toward the afternoon you get a couple of showers, couple of rumbles, thunder sparking up. It's another day. This will be the fourth consecutive day where it's mainly dry. Can't rule out a passing shower or thunderstorm, but it's nasty. It's 89 degrees, but it feels like the mid-90s because of all the moisture there. Today and tomorrow are going to be virtually the same as the past couple of days, but your weekend, there's a problem in your weekend. It's called rain, and maybe even a lot of it for some of us. And I'll show you where I expect that corridor to set up with the heaviest batch coming up.
Okay, those details in just a bit. Let's get to the news.
New this morning, guests to a Lexington hotel were evacuated after a fire broke out at their hotel.
Major inconvenience. That fire started about 11 o'clock in the kitchen of the Ramada Hotel on North Broadway. That kitchen normally just used to make breakfast. Hotel is closed this morning. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner is live now with more details on the fire. She's at the scene. Caitlin, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Not a lot going on here this morning. Very quiet out here, and that's because the Ramada, as you said, is closed. You can see a little bit of the mess left behind from the fire behind me here. Certainly some startling moments last night when many here at the Ramada were woken up by smoke detectors. Fire crews rolled in around 11 o'clock last night and quickly tackled a fire inside the hotel. Those crews weren't yet able to tell us an exact cause of the fire, but did say it started in a storage room off of the kitchen. That kitchen, firefighters say, was not being used at the time when the fire sparked.
The Ramada is relocating all of the patrons to other hotels. We've been able to let them get in and get some of their essentials, keys and wallets and that sort of thing.
Luckily, no one was hurt in the fire, and I'm sure those guests were happy to be able to go inside and get their personal belongings before they were sent to other hotels. Live in Lexington, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
All right, Caitlin, thank you very much. New this morning, the Kentucky Equality Federation is suing a Manchester City Council member. The lawsuit is on behalf of a Clay County couple who claims they were evicted because they are gay. Joshua Melton and his husband James Feltner say they lived in the apartment for about 9 months. But they say in June, their landlord, Manchester City Council member Esther Thompson, told them to move out. The lawsuit claims Thompson called them a homophobic slur and told them that she, quote, owned the police. Melton and Feltner are suing for rental costs and legal fees. Today, a man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend back in 2003 will be facing a Montgomery County judge. Police say Bass Webb killed Sabrina Vaughn, who went missing in Montgomery County in 2003. Vaughn's body was found nearly 7 years later in Powell County. The trial for that case has already been delayed multiple times. Webb is already serving time for the murder of another ex-girlfriend.
Investigators are still trying to figure out who caused nearly 24 cars of a train to derail in downtown Falmouth. Michelle Chamberlain is at our alert desk with details on the derailment.
Yeah, that train was carrying hazardous materials, and because of that, businesses were closed, homes were evacuated, and power was out in most of the area. But later in the day, emergency management said no hazardous material was leaking. Now, this video from Officer Don that you can see here, you can see this mess that this train derailment caused. And you know what? They're left with a big mess to clean up. Also, take a look at these pictures. Neighbors took these pictures after the train derailed in Falmouth. As you can see, cars were just yards from people's homes. The train was carrying hazardous materials, like I said, and at one point, emergency crews issued evacuation and shelter-in-place orders for much of the Pendleton County city. Still, one neighbor told us, she told our crew she planned on leaving for a few days just to make sure all is safe. Rebecca?
Can't blame her for that. Thanks. We have new information about an oily substance that ended up on some homes in Powell County last week. Investigators say the substance sprayed out onto those homes after lightning hit a nearby gas substation. The owner of the substation, Kinder Morgan, now says tests of the substance show that there could or should be no short-term health effects associated with it. The company says they did test and they do not indicate a concern for long-term health effects either. Some families are still staying elsewhere as a precaution, though. Kinder Morgan says it will continue to coordinate work and school transportation arrangements for them.
The first day of school had a rough ending for some students over in Anderson County. Witnesses say when a bus driver realized that she had missed a student stop yesterday in Lawrenceburg, she reversed, hitting a car. But police say the driver of the car, Billy Cecil, was intoxicated and had a blood alcohol level more than 3 times the legal limit. Cecil was arrested and is now being held in the Anderson County Jail.
The bus backed into him, and they found that he was intoxicated. You know, maybe he could have, if it hadn't happened, maybe he'd have went on and something worse could have occurred. So, you know, maybe it was meant to happen. They, you know, got him off the street.
About 40 students ranging from elementary to high school were on the bus at the time. 2 of them were taken to the hospital for only minor injuries. The driver of the bus has not been charged. We're tracking the investigation into a deadly motorcycle crash in Laurel County that happened about 6:30 last night on Highway 192 west of London. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says a motorcycle crossed the center line and hit a van that had just pulled out of a driveway. Investigators say the man riding the motorcycle, 30-year-old William Hayes of Richmond, died at the scene. They say a passenger in the van was taken to the hospital with some injuries. Some national news this morning. Hillary Clinton is in Michigan today to make her case on how she wants to improve the economy. It comes just days after Donald Trump delivered his own economic plan in Detroit.
This morning, Trump is taking some heat because a former congressman attended one of his rallies in Florida. Brian Webb has the details.
Directly behind Donald Trump is disgraced former Republican Congressman Mark Foley. Foley resigned in 2006 amid allegations he sent sexually suggestive emails to teenage boys who served as pages. Ironically, Donald Trump criticized Clinton for her own event where the father of the Orlando nightclub killer sat behind her.
Wasn't it terrible when the father of the animal that killed the wonderful people in Orlando was sitting with a big smile on his face right behind Hillary Clinton?
The Clinton campaign said he was not invited. Trump also continued to hammer Clinton on the scandal surrounding her use of a private email server while Secretary of State.
How do you think Hillary would feel if emails were never invented? Would she be happy? It revealed so much. It revealed the lies, the deception, the dishonesty.
Clinton, meanwhile, campaigned in Iowa and for the first time reacted to Trump's remark that Second Amendment people could do something to stop her.
Words matter, my friends. Donald Trump simply does not have the temperament to be President and Commander-in-Chief of the United States.
Trump later claimed he was talking about political power and wasn't inciting violence. He denied a report the Secret Service followed up on his comments. Brian Webb for CBS News, New York.
During Trump's campaign event, he also claimed President Obama founded the terrorist organization ISIS. A man in New York City is now facing charges after police say he tried to climb to the top of the Trump Tower. Police say the man used suction cups rigged to a harness to scale that tower yesterday. They say he wanted a private meeting with Donald Trump to discuss an important matter. And for nearly 3 hours, the man dodged police. Officers smashed windows, removed glass, and cut holes in the building's ventilation ducts. But the climber just kept on going. He managed to reach the 21st floor before police finally ended the chase. Police say the 19-year-old will undergo a psychological evaluation. In a statement, a lawyer for Trump called this a ridiculous and dangerous stunt and said it caused some damage to the building.
5:40 now on WKYT this morning. The United States is currently in the lead in the 2016 Rio Olympics medal race. We have 32 medals right now. China in second has 23, and Japan in third has 18. The U.S. currently has 11 gold medals. We have 1 medal in cycling, 1 in gymnastics, 1 in shooting, and the other 8 are in swimming. In silver, the U.S. has 11 with medals in archery, diving, fencing, judo, and swimming. And in bronze, we also have 10 medals. They are in equestrian, shooting, and in swimming. Locally this morning, we have a traffic alert for drivers planning to use New Circle Road in Lexington today. The Kentucky Department of Highways has planned pothole repairs on New Circle between Leestown Road and Woodhill Drive. It's going to be a mobile operation, so the state is asking drivers to look for signs and flashing arrows. Potholes will be repaired between 9 this morning and 3 this afternoon. So a heads up on that, and certainly give them the room they need to work.
Yeah.
All right, 5:41. Let's check traffic this morning. See what is going on out there bright and early. First of all, here is the region. Our look at the current traffic map showing things are looking good right now. No reports of any early issues.
You can, like yesterday, expect probably about in the next hour or so traffic to pick up, obviously with the kids headed back to school this week. Here's a look at the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government's live drive cam. This view at Versailles and Alexandria.
All right, sort of quiet there in the Cardinal Valley area this morning, and we'll keep you up to date, of course. Officer Don will be along in a few minutes with the latest traffic info. And there's so much more news coming up for you on this Thursday.
A polar bear cub that's nearly a year old has made a ton of progress since birth. We'll have more on where that little bear is headed coming up after the break.
Hot and humid conditions continue. There's no doubt about that. Next couple of days, still like the past few, where you get some rain here and there, and some of us stay dry. But the weekend's going to be different. I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
It is like a sauna out there early this morning once again. We get into your afternoon, and it's going to stay that way. Hot, humid conditions. Even though the temperatures are in the upper 80s, it's feeling like the mid to upper 90s because of all the moisture laying around. We're at 77 degrees right now in Frankfort and Lexington. All looks well there on the roadways. We are getting some info coming out of Shelby County into Franklin County. It's right on that line of an oil spill, so we'll get you updated on that. But it's right on the line, the county line of Shelby County into Franklin County. So if you're heading eastbound on I-64, there are going to be some major issues in that area once again from Shelby County into Franklin County, I-64 eastbound coming toward Lexington. So we'll get you updated on some more info in just a few minutes. Defender Radar Network, not much going on early this morning, a couple of sprinkles northbound. That's about it. That's going to change though. It's very humid outside. You know that. I don't need to tell you that. It's 93 to 98 degrees is the way it feels. The heat index, not so much the temperature. There's a lot of moisture though. And with all that moisture comes storm chances. We've had that the past few days where some have picked up some rain and some have not. 2 days ago, I picked up tremendous amounts of rain. I had about 1.5 inches of rain at my house yesterday. I didn't see even a cloud building at my house. It's just the way it's going to go today and tomorrow. So this takes you through Saturday during the evening hours. Obviously, there's not a whole heck of a lot of rain. Now, I do have a 60% chance of rain in my forecast on Saturday, but it's deep into Saturday night is where that rain starts to build on in. So Saturday night into Sunday and into Monday, look at that showing up. Look at that northbound. 4.85 inches of rain showing up in northern Kentucky during that time. Don't forget, this is pretty cool. Perseid meteor shower going on tonight with no clouds, 100+ meteors per hour. It's pretty cool. Best to actually get away from the city lights, get out in the country somewhere. And the best viewing time is going to be midnight to dawn, midnight to sunrise is when you can see those. So don't forget about that. Pretty cool right there. Perseid meteor shower going on later on tonight. Here's some school pictures. Once again, I told you I'd show them off. Danielle Neese, first day of kindergarten. Her little man headed back with his Superman lunchbox right there. How cute is he? And here's another cutie. First day of second grade. That's from Ashley Rigsby. Guys, we appreciate you guys sending in those pictures. Remember, you can hop on my Facebook. I show them off every year, that first day of school. Like I said, the best chance of rain is late Saturday into Sunday into Monday. That's your best opportunity for rain if you're trying to make plans. Do it today and tomorrow. Outdoor plans, because as we head towards your weekend, deep into your weekend, it gets pretty rainy. It's very soggy, so here we go.
Yeah, here we go. It's great to see those pics of
it really
the kids.
Is.
They,
Such cuties.
They're the
right.
future,
That's
and
right.
they look ready to go. It's coming up on 5:48 right now.
Well, Nora, a young polar bear who has captivated the country since her birth at the Columbus Zoo last November, is moving to the Oregon Zoo this fall.
Well, cross-country trip. Nora was born last November, and about a week after her birth, Nora's mama bear started leaving her unattended for long periods of time. So the zoo's care team decided to hand rear the cub. When they first began raising Nora, she weighed just 1 pound. Well, she now weighs more than 150 pounds. And take a look at this adorable video of the happy little bear playing there. Zookeepers in Oregon are hoping that Tassel, a bear who lost her brother, will befriend Nora and serve as her polar bear mentor once she arrives at her new place out there.
Cute. It's just adorable. Look at that.
It's going to be fun for the crowds.
What a nice little habitat there.
Yeah, it'll be fun for the crowds to see her out in Oregon now.
Great. Coming up, you'll get the stories making news right now. Thanks for starting your morning off with us.
Yeah, we're glad you're along. We'll be checking traffic as well. And, of course, we have all of our top stories on the way in just a few minutes. It sure is good to have you with us here on WKYT this morning. Hey, good morning. Welcome back in. It is your Thursday. It's August 11th. Our time this morning is 5:52, and we're glad you're along, getting this day going.
Yeah, get it going, right? Let's take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on for you at this hour.
Our news team is busy. New this morning, guests to a Lexington hotel were evacuated after a fire broke out there at the hotel. The fire started about 11 o'clock in the kitchen, which is normally only used to make breakfast at the Ramada Hotel on Broadway. No one was hurt. Guests were able to go back inside and grab some of their personal belongings before then being relocated to other hotels.
Police in Butler County say they now suspect foul play in the deaths of a pastor and his wife who were found dead in their home. They say that the suspect left the scene injured. So far, police have not made any arrests. Neighbors say they cannot understand why someone would want to kill the couple.
And investigators are still trying to figure out what caused nearly 24 cars of a train to derail in downtown Falmouth. Because the train was carrying hazardous materials, emergency crews issued evacuation and shelter-in-place orders for a while. That was for much of Pendleton County there and the area there around Falmouth. Those orders were lifted late yesterday afternoon. Still plenty left to clean up there, and it may take a while.
Now on to today's top national stories. Hillary Clinton focuses on the economy today. In a speech outside Detroit, this caps 2 weeks of travel, pushing her plan to create jobs.
On Monday, Donald Trump announced his own economic plan in Detroit, promising to cut taxes. Trump is also facing a firestorm right now for suggesting Second Amendment advocates could stop his rival, which some perceived as a threat of violence toward Clinton. Clinton responded, saying it shows Trump does not have the temperament to be president.
A Virginia man will undergo a psychiatric evaluation after climbing partway up Trump Tower in New York City using suction cups. Police say the man posted a video online saying he wanted a private audience with Donald Trump. The candidate was campaigning in Virginia at the time, the climber's home state.
Delta has canceled more than 300 flights yesterday. The airline is still trying to get back on track after that computer failure grounded flights worldwide earlier this week. The airline has canceled more than 2,100 flights since Monday. On Wednesday, Delta's CEO once again apologized.
In today's top health stories, chemotherapy during pregnancy may affect the future fertility of unborn baby girls, according to a new study.
Researchers in the United Kingdom exposed the fetuses of mice to the drug etoposide and found it damaged the ovaries in female fetuses. Etoposide is currently considered safe for women in their second and third trimesters. New research shows some women are more likely to have a successful pregnancy using frozen embryos. The study published in the New England Journal of Medicine looked at 1,500 infertile women and compared using frozen embryos versus fresh during in vitro fertilization.
There are new treatment guidelines for people with HIV and tuberculosis. Doctors have long treated the two diseases separately, but new guidelines from several organizations, including the CDC, find it safe for patients to begin antiretroviral therapy for HIV shortly after beginning treatment for TB. Let's get a check right now on today's traffic trouble spots with a look at live drive traffic.
And we do have some trouble spots to let you know about right now. First off, we're going to take a look at the region. If you look to the left side of your screen, you'll see some depiction of a situation going on there. A traffic alert eastbound I-64 in Shelby County. We're hearing the delay has been caused by a semi-accident near Waddy. About 80 gallons of fuel have been spilled out onto the road. That, of course, requiring an environmental cleanup and closure of that road at this time, at least eastbound eastbound on I-64.
Here's a look at the Lexington-Fayette Urban County Government's live drive cam. The set of Versailles and Alexandria looking good there.
And rolling pothole repairs on New Circle Road today. They'll try to do that between 9 and 3, but be aware of that between Woodhill and Leestown Road.
A little bit of unfortunate timing there for the kiddos headed back to school on the second day, but hopefully, Micah, they'll deal with at least some kind of decent weather.
Yeah, decent weather is a good call. I mean, this morning, look, there's no rain out there, but let me tell you this, it is humid. It's just one of those mornings, which kids can deal with that. That's not a big deal. Early in the morning, it's 73 degrees right now in Jackson and Breathitt County. Mid-70s everywhere you look. Just an hour ago, we were close to 80 degrees in Frankfort. That's not a good feel. Mostly dry conditions this morning by noontime. Small chance in afternoon. Just a few rumbles of thunder in the forecast. Remember, today and tomorrow is the same setup as the past few days, where you may get rain over your house, you may not. It's just here and there. It's bits and pieces scattered out and about. But the weekend's going to change big time. We're going to talk about that, and we'll also touch base on that Perseid meteor shower later on tonight. Coming up.